I lived alone. I was used to silence. Then one quiet smile changed everything. I am Claire. I am 29 years old. I want to tell you something that changed my life. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. No one shouted. No doors slammed. It was something quiet, something simple, something real. And before it happened, I did not even know I was waiting for it. Every morning I wake up at 6. My alarm rings softly and I turn it off before the second sound. I do not like noise in the morning. I sit up slowly, feeling the cool air in my small apartment. My bedroom walls are light grey, the curtains are thin, and the early sunlight always finds a way inside. I walk to the kitchen and start the coffee machine. The sound of water heating is familiar. Comforting, I stand by the window while it brews. Outside, the city is still half asleep. A bus passes. A man walks his dog. The sky slowly turns from pale blue to soft gold. I pour my coffee into the same white mug I have used for years. It has a small crack near the handle, but I cannot throw it away. I sit at my wooden table. I drink slowly. I like the warmth in my hands. I like the silence before the world becomes busy. I live alone. I have lived alone for almost 5 years. I am used to it. I am organised, careful, and always doing something. I clean on Sundays. I buy groceries every Wednesday evening. I answer emails quickly. I pay my bills on time. My life looks stable from the outside, but inside something feels empty. I cannot explain it well. It is not sadness exactly. It is not anger. It is more like a space inside my chest that never feels full. I often wonder if everyone feels this way, or if it is just me. I work in a small bookstore on Maple Street. It is not a large store. It has wooden shelves that reach almost to the ceiling. There is a small ladder that rolls along the wall so we can reach the top shelves. The floor creaks when people walk across it. The front window displays new arrivals every week. I love books. I always have. I love the smell of old pages. I love the weight of a hardcover novel in my hands. I love the sound of a book opening for the first time. Books feel honest. They do not pretend to be something else. In the store, I know where everything is. Fiction to the left. Poetry near the back. History on the right wall. Children's books near the window. I know which customers prefer mysteries and which ones only read biographies. I remember birthdays. I remember favourite authors. People often talk to me about their lives while holding a book. They tell me about their children, their jobs, their worries. Sometimes I feel like I know their stories better than my own. Yet, even surrounded by so many voices and pages, I feel alone. Then, one afternoon, he walked in. His name is Ethan. He did not rush inside like most customers. He stepped through the door slowly, as if he did not want to disturb the quiet air. He paused just inside, looking around carefully. His eyes moved across the shelves with interest, not confusion. I noticed him immediately. He had dark brown hair that fell slightly over his forehead. He wore a navy jacket and carried no phone in his hands, which felt rare these days. His expression was calm, thoughtful. He walked toward the fiction section. I had just placed a new novel on display. He picked it up and smiled gently to himself. It was a small smile, but something about it felt warm. I walked closer. "Hello," I said. He looked up. His eyes were kind. "Hi," he replied. His voice was steady, soft. Not loud, not shy. "Can I help you find anything?" I asked. "I'm just looking," he said. "But this place feels peaceful." I smiled. "It usually is." He stayed for almost an hour that day. He walked slowly through the aisles. He read the backs of books. He asked where we kept contemporary fiction. I showed him. Our conversation was short, simple, but when he left, I noticed the store felt different. Over the next week, he came back. then again. At first, our conversations were practical. Do you have this author? Yes, let me check. Is this one good? It depends on what you like. But gradually, our words grew longer. One evening, he asked, "What's your favourite book?" The question surprised me. Customers rarely asked about me. I thought for a moment. "A small novel about quiet lives," I said. "Nothing dramatic happens, but everything changes." He smiled. "That sounds like real life. What about you?" I asked. "I like stories where people don't know what they're looking for," he said, "until they find it." I felt something shift inside me when he said that. Weeks passed. Ethan became part of my routine. Some days he bought a book. Some days he didn't. Sometimes he simply sat in the reading chair near the window while I worked behind the counter. We did not always talk. Sometimes we shared silence, but it was not an uncomfortable silence. It felt safe. There was no pressure, no expectation, no dramatic moment, just presence. I began to look for him in the afternoons. I noticed how the light from the window touched his face when he read. I noticed the way he held books carefully, as if they mattered deeply. One evening, as I was closing the store, he stayed behind. "I like it here," he said softly. "It feels calm." "I'm glad," I replied. He hesitated, then asked, "Do you ever feel like you're waiting for something?" The question caught me off guard. "All the time," I admitted. "For what?" he asked. I looked around at the shelves. "I don't know." He nodded, as if he understood more than I had said. I did not realize when my feelings began to change. It was not sudden. It was not dramatic. It was like the tide slowly rising. One day I simply noticed that when he was late, I felt restless. When he laughed, I felt lighter. When he left, the store felt quieter than before. I was falling in love. But I was afraid. I had never been in a relationship that felt stable. My last one ended quietly too, but not gently. We had drifted apart without saying the important things. I had promised myself I would not risk my heart again unless I was certain. And I was not certain. What if he saw me only as the girl from the bookstore? What if the warmth I felt was only one-sided? I decided to stay quiet. I hid my feelings carefully. I told myself it was better to keep the small happiness I already had than to risk losing everything. Then came the rain. It was a grey afternoon. The sky had been heavy since morning. By 3 o'clock, rain began tapping softly against the windows. The store was empty. Ethan sat in the chair by the window reading. I was stacking books near the counter. The sound of rain filled the silence. Suddenly I felt him standing behind me. I turned slowly. He looked serious. "Claire," he said. My heart beat faster. "Yes?" He took a deep breath. "I don't want to make this uncomfortable, but I need to say something." The rain grew louder outside. "I like you," he continued, "more than I planned to." I tried to ignore it. I told myself this was just a bookstore I liked. But it's you. I look forward to seeing you every day. And I don't want to pretend anymore. For a moment, I could not breathe. The words I had been hiding for weeks rushed forward. "I was afraid," I whispered. "Of what?" he asked gently. "That it was only me." He shook his head. "It's not only you." Tears filled my eyes, but I was smiling. "I like you too," I said. "I think I have for a long time." He exhaled, as if he had been holding his breath for weeks. We did not kiss dramatically, we did not spin in circles. We just stood there, smiling at each other while rain fell outside. After that day, nothing exploded, nothing rushed. We began walking home together in the evenings. We discovered we lived only 10 minutes apart. We started having breakfast together on Sundays, sometimes at my apartment, sometimes at his. I learned he worked as an architect. He liked designing small houses more than large buildings. Homes matter more, he once said. He learned that I reread the same books when I feel uncertain, that I drink too much coffee, that I worry about things that may never happen. We disagreed sometimes. He liked waking up later than I did. I liked planning weeks in advance. He preferred spontaneous trips. But we always talked. Slowly. Carefully. We did not shout. We did not disappear during arguments. We stayed. I realized something important. Love is not always fireworks. Sometimes it is routine shared. Sometimes it is sitting quietly in the same room. Sometimes it is knowing someone will answer when you call. Months passed. One morning I woke up at 6 as usual. I made coffee, but this time I heard footsteps behind me. Ethan wrapped his arms around my waist. "Good morning," he murmured. The sun rose through the window just as it always had. The same walls, the same table. But I felt different. I no longer felt the empty space inside my chest. It was filled with something steady. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. We sat together at the table holding warm mugs. Sometimes we talked about our plans for the day. Sometimes we just watched the light move across the floor. I used to think love would arrive like a storm. Instead, it arrived like morning light, quiet, soft, certain. There are still ordinary days. There are still moments of doubt or stress, but we return to each other. Always. I learnt that love does not need to shout to be strong. It can grow in bookstores. It can grow in silence. It can grow between two people who are brave enough to speak, even softly. I am Claire. I did not find love in a dramatic way. I found it slowly, between shelves of books and rainy afternoons, and it changed everything.